Now comes, the instability in North Africa. Now, why the West would like to destabilize Libya, one of the best state in Africa, best welfare state under Gaddafi. If you got married, you got 50,000 US dollars to sustain the family. You had free education, almost free fuel, and it is not very large in terms of demographic. In terms of area, it is. Why you would go and destabilize Libya? I mean, for what? Why would
Why?
you try to bring, these Arab Springs? Let, the country, and now who's destabilized Ukraine? We can discuss it at length. That could have sustained, and now you have a lot of immigrants from Ukraine going to West. It will, I think, create some problems later on. So far, you can say that they are being assimilated. So you have to look at the policy also. One, you have a demographic balance, and now you are accentuating that by creating chaos. They tried it in Egypt. It's a very large country. Imagine Egypt was not stabilized, and you had like 10 million Egyptians crossing the Mediterranean and jumping into Europe. So you tried to destabilize Iraq, you tried to destabilize Syria. And these are fringes of Mediterranean. And then we've suffered because of instability in Afghanistan, and then there was a effect on that. So I think if you look at President Putin's formula to settle Ukraine, I think they would have done it peacefully. But there you force it upon other countries, including the lifestyle. And then there is a butterfly effect, a strategic migration takes place. There's also this global warming, and in the long run, people are saying that the central part, like South Asia or Central Africa, is going to become so hot that people are going to migrate because of environment. And the only sustainable areas will be towards the north, like Russia, like maybe Greenland and Iceland and Canada. So these will be areas which attract. So maybe that phenomena comes after 50 years. So these are, I think, trends. But definitely, nobody can support the violence. People should realize when they own a country. I've traveled to France, twice. I've been to a lot of European countries, and there was never a problem of any discrimination. But these are some of the root causes because of which this is taking place. And at times, the local population, like in our case, when there is, especially in the bordering region, any disturbance, generally people try to blame the Afghans. Maybe they've got nothing to do with it. That they are bringing that culture and this culture, despite having same faith, but still you have these tensions. And now the Afghans are into businesses. The Afghans are most of the in one of the states, most of the transport is run by Afghan. So they are very hardworking people, and so these are, I think, the underlining reasons, and what you see is a reaction. But definitely, social media with disruptive technologies, you always mention, because when Macron said the parents and all that, I think in the social media is definitely one factor. It happened in Pakistan also. That any wave of protests or action against the state will be because of ability of people to group through digital and social media. You can just give a call. There are WhatsApp groups in India with membership of more than 2 million. You'll be surprised. 2 million people on one WhatsApp group. And same is true in Pakistan. It runs with thousands. You can rally, thousands of people with just one click, and they'll be there, in case you have, let's say, worked on their mindset. Of course, there are economic problems related to 1 versus 99%. This is becoming, I think, universal. Less those states. I would still praise China, Singapore, Middle East. Time I feel that, like even Russia, as I think Dan was mentioning, that you are not allowed to have chaos. Like in Middle East, they have a very practical formula. They don't give you citizenship. You can work there till you are 60. So you can go as a youngster, earn money, but when you're 60, you go back to your country. I don't know. Maybe they allow certain very rich businessmen to continue, but otherwise, they will require people to come, and even Middle East was built by immigrants. You will be surprised that in UAE, the immigrants, outweigh the local Arab by 1 is to 30. Can you imagine a state where there are 29 immigrants and one Arab, and still it's being managed because of laws, stringent control? So these are, I think, some of the means that states have adopted. There's a lot of criticism of Middle East that why don't you allow a guy, spend 30 years in your country? or no, that is the law. But they
It's
are
not an immigrant,
outnumbered
that's a
by
slave.
1:30. Yes. So these are, I think, some of the things, the larger questions. But definitely, what is happening is unfortunate. The other thing is the rise of, I would still call it the Nazi ideology or Nazism rebirth. And now, because of Russia-Ukraine war, it's being given a fillip. It's being propagated and it is permeating into right wing. And this is dangerous. That on one side you have immigrants supported by the left, like I think this yellow vest were not like Algerian; they were common French, and then you are pitched against the right wing, which is now getting Philip. I think this is going to spread in case it's not controlled into Benelux countries or maybe Germany, because like here we had a heated debate. At time people get flared up, and genuinely so, because you see it happening. But we should look at the underlying reason, and the I think states have to address that. I don't know how Portugal addresses when they are now asking for people to come and settle down, because I know in Italy there are a lot of villages which are empty, and maybe Portugal it is the same. There are certain agricultural lands they would like. In Canada they have a lot of land. Even Russia would require people to go and do agriculture work in the industries. So these are some of the advantages that the West also took, and the immigrants also got a very good lifestyle. But this was your net result. So, and then of course is universal use of social media. So these are, I think, my points related. I've done, I think, 5, 6 papers. Demographics is one of my research areas, and so I'll just put up this. I'm not favoring any community. This is very bad that you go in any country, it gives you food and shelter, and then you start revolting against. This is very, very bad, condemnable. But these are, I think, my points.